Hi Stampers, it's Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here to show you today how to make a fun fold card using this new bundle from the January to April mini catalog. It's called Trusty Tools. It does come in kind of a two-step stamping and photopolymer, and then it has some dies that go with it. And then as an added bonus, if you order it in January, February, there's some bonus designer series paper that you can choose as your free item from the celebration brochure. So we're going to play with all of that today. I had promised that I would show you how all the dies work. So I've got quite a few little things cut out of the dies just using cardstock and foil paper, but then I'll also show you how we can cut out stamped images and images out of our designer series paper. So let's go ahead and get started. I decided to do my card using some non-traditional colors. I used Lost Lagoon and Pool Party. My daughter is a superintendent for an elevator company, and her favorite color is teal. So I had made another card out of Coastal Cabana and Pool Party, but I was playing around with the designer series paper for this one because I wanted to be able to show you that. And it had Lost Lagoon. So that's the one I'm using today. You can see this would make a great toolbox. We have some graph paper. And then, of course, a lot of our dies, like I said, they cut out of the designer series paper. So you could just die cut these direct right out of the DSP. We've got our pencil, we've got a wrench. There's a whole bunch of them that are all going to just die cut right out of there. This one's over here somewhere. Anyway, but you see what I mean? You just line them up and they will cut out of there. They will also cut right out of the stamp set. If you were to stamp these images, then they fell. A little small, but you can see how that would cut that out perfectly. You can see I started playing around with some other colors, but I'll show you how all of that works as we get moving. But as I said, this is a level 1 celebration item, which means if you place a $50 order, you can get this designer series paper as one of the free choices. And I want to point out that this, in the mini catalog, if you got one of the first mini catalogs that went out, there was a price goof. They had given us the Canadian price in the back of the book. So it may appear to be overpriced in the back. Let's see, where is it? I should have marked this before I got online. There we go. So here you see it's $54.75. So if you ordered this bundle, then you could easily get that designer series paper for free. But in the back, it said 74 something, and that's not correct. That was the Canadian price. So don't be discouraged if you look back here and it's wrong, because there was a catalog discrepancy. So that was just a typo as they were moving from Canadian to American prices. And then in here was the designer series paper. Look at all those cute ideas they did with it. So, as I said, I was going to show you all the ways we can use these dies. Obviously, this one here is our pegboard background. So I have that one here, this one here, and this one here. This is the toolbox itself. I'm not going to pull them all off because I had a heck of a time putting it back together. It was like playing Jenga once I had them all off, trying to make them fit all back on again. But there's our toolbox. We have our drill, and then we have the part that comes out of the drill bit, I guess. Then there is the hammer, and then the part that goes over the top. We have the wrench and the part that goes over the top for that. These ones were a little wonky. There's 2 of those. So they're going to overlap. So the solid circle goes on the bottom. This one with the hole is going to go on the top, and they're going to crisscross so that the flat parts are to the middle. And then I adhered them with a little drop of glue or a glue dot even. That would put your handles on the bottom of your needle nose pliers. Of course, there was a screw and a nut and a bolt. All that stuff. Here we have our paintbrush. And then there was the paint that goes on the bottom of it. Seems like there ought to be another part in the middle here. I might cut that out again in, I don't know, silver, smoky slate or something and have the part above the bristles. Part of the ones that were really confusing were what to do with this little one and this little one, and they both go to the tape measure. So if you cut out the tape measure, then that piece is going to go on the front. This goes in the center, and then this is your button up here. Okay, so that's how your tape measure is going to go together. Then the other confusing ones was what to do with this one, because this one looked a little odd. You know, we can figure out that this is the pencil, but what's this one, right? So what it is it's the yellow part of your pencil. So it's going to fit on top. So I cut the pencil part itself out of ivory because I figured that's what color the wood would be on the inside. And then I have a Stampin' blend in black that I figured we could do the tip. Of our pencil. And I'm kind of going on the edges here. And then I used the dark bubble bath for our eraser on the other end. And it's okay to come down a little farther than you need to because it's better to have it too long than too short. That's always my theory. And this one I happen to have some with adhesive sheet on the back. So I went ahead and die cut from that so that this would be a sticker. And it's going to go right over the top, and there's your pencil. So yeah, sometimes it seems like they should come with some kind of, I don't know, instructions, because the dies are not always self-explanatory, but I guess that's why you have me, so that you can come to me and I will explain where all the pieces go to. So I'm going to use my little bottle that I have my mono adhesive in. This is the liquid glue, the green glue, I guess they call it. However you want to refer to it, but I wanted to be able to put on smaller amounts, and so mine's in that little bottle. So there's our tape measure. See, and it even has the little embossing into it to show the marks on the ruler. So cute. So I'm going to go ahead and put all these together while I have them here so I don't lose any little pieces. Then we'll switch over to our card. So how's everybody doing today? We just came out of a blizzard of a weekend. It was lots of snow, like more than I'm used to here. I mean, I'm from Northern California, like San Francisco Bay Area. So, I mean, snow's, something we went to Tahoe for. And now I get it here at my house. And it hasn't been too bad before. I mean, we get a little bit of snow. I stay home for a couple of days. It's all good. But I walked out my back deck and I stuck my tape measure down into the snow and got 18 inches. That's too much. I posted a really cute picture yesterday of the doggy door. We had cleared off the back porch before we went to bed. And during the middle of the night, the dogs get up and they go outside. They use the doggy door on their own. And when we came out to make coffee, we looked over and opened the back door, and it was like that deep on the sides. And the dogs had like plowed through the middle of it and made their path to get out. It was so funny. But they've been pretty much staying in the house. And we weren't able to really go many places over the weekend. I did not want to drive in it. Driving in ice scares the heck out of me. But my husband, on the other hand, he wanted to know how the roads were just so he would know if he could get to work this morning. So he comes downstairs and goes, "Hey, you want to go to Chipotle?" And I thought, what? Are you crazy? And so it did. And oh my gosh, it was not fun. I should have taken my anti-anxiety medication before we left because we were slipping and sliding and we were watching we were in a little Toyota Camry, but we were watching pickup trucks that were having their wheels spin in all of this snow. He thought it was oh so fun as we were sliding. I did not. And of course, we get to where we were going, and there were some kids, and must have been mom and dad's car, spinning donuts in the parking lot. I told my husband, I said, "Don't you dare." This weird feeling, if I had not been with him telling him no, he would have copied suit. There we go. Okay, now we have all our little pieces. For the card itself, I'm going with a longer card base. I want to say we cut in half at the 4 1/4. Normally we cut in half at the 5 1/2, but this time I went the other way. Cut at 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and then I cut the front in half at 2 3/4. And we're going to take that one and we'll spin it. So that'll be the front. But this is that part. And then I'm layering up with some Pool Party. As I said, this was Lost Lagoon. We have Pool Party. This one is 2 1/2 by 4. And then I did the designer series paper with 1/8 of an inch border. So mine is a little smaller. You can just go ahead and do 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. But I did 3 5/8 by 2 3/8. So it's just got a little skinny border around it, but you can do either way. Come on. Apparently I'm not giving enough of a flip at the end. Kind of make sure it breaks off up here. It's not going to grab next time. Then on the inside, I have my 4 by 5 1/4 layer in Pool Party. So then on top of that, I have a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then we're going to stamp on this one. And I prefer to stamp before adhering. In case there's any boo-boos, we can flip it over and stamp on the other side. And I absolutely love this glass mat in that we don't have to worry about having the foam underneath here. For some reason, it just gives a great impression straight onto the glass. I have a little bit of vellum on here to prevent the glare, but I don't use that when it's just me, when I don't have the lights all on. No, it's not worth having an accident. I agree. We were supposed to play Bunko tonight. I belong to a Bunko group, and they were talking about still meeting tonight. And I thought, with all this, I mean, I can't even see my road outside. There's so much snow out there, and they don't plow our neighborhood. So I was not looking forward to driving to the next town over. Oh, Jan said she used to live in Tahoe. That's fun. Yeah, they had snow days for the kids in school. They did not have school on Friday or today because they couldn't get the buses out. They're not even picking up trash because they don't plow our residential streets. The trash man can't get through. They said, put it in large bags. We'll pick it up next week. So I'm some glue in. When I cut this piece, I cut out the whole thing, the die that came with it. But then it was a little bit too big. So I actually trimmed off one row each direction. So it's one shorter across the top and one shorter on the side. It looks like I have a smaller border this time than I had here. So this one fits a little better, but we're putting so many tools over the top of it, we're not going to be able to tell. So not a big deal. But my point was that you can take the die, cut it out full size, and then trim it down to what you need it to be, or maybe even just cut it what you need it to be and then center it in the die before you run it through. On this one, you can see how on the back, Stampin' Up! Has put the item number. So if you ever have a rogue die like floating around your office, check the back and see if it has a number on it. And then you can go to the Stampin' Up! Website or even Google and put in that number, and it will tell you what stamp set it belongs to. Okay, so I started putting all of my tools into my toolbox before I adhered it to the card. But we can go ahead and put this on there. So I'm just centering this in the card as if it was a normal layer. That's why I'm doing it before the toolbox, because it's easier on my eyes to try to see where I'm lined up. Then we can just come back and add that on afterwards. But I started with the biggest item. I started with the drill, figuring I would put that in the back so that you would still see it and it wouldn't block everything else. So I've got a glue dot on the bottom. And I kind of just stuck it in there. Let's see. Then we've got our hammer. And I'm trying to be random. We all know I'm not very good at that, but I'm kind of sticking them in at angles and like they were just kind of thrown in there. But I still wanted to be able to see all of my parts and pieces and various things, when I stuck the pliers in there, they kind of got lost. And so that's why I have one end sticking in and one end sticking out. So that's the side going in. Okay. Then when I first put down these little things, my daughter said I made a face, because I guess I had put, if you can see in the picture of the one on here, is that she said it made a smiley face. That was not my intention. So I kind of took one of them off and moved it so that it fell more random. There's our tape measure. But maybe if you wanted to, on purpose, make a face, say you're making a little kid's card, you know, what is that, Robot Wall-E? You can maybe do a face on purpose. Could be cute. Oh, and then I had our pencil here. You can tell I used scrap paper. I've got little writings on the back for measurements of something I was doing. But we'll never see that. Once I glue everything down, they're not going to know I made notes on the back. Oh, good. Christy said she may have some orphan dies. See if you can figure out where they go. The other thing, if you're missing a die, say you've started cleaning up your desk and you can't find the one that you're looking for, and you know there's some teeny tiny die somewhere. If you have our Stamparatus, the Stamparatus comes with these big magnets and they're very strong. Mine's actually broken, but these magnets on the Stamparatus, if you just stick your hand down into the trash can and swirl this around in circles, you may find your die. Ask me how I know. Alrighty. Then when I went ahead to stick it to the card, I actually decided to stick it on with some Terran tape because I didn't think that rolling my Stampin' Seal across was going to work real well because there were all those uneven edges. So I just stuck Terran tape that I can then push down with my fingernails and make really sure that it's sticking. Then I can move this over and take it to my card. And now I'm just making sure as I'm tilting this that my hammer doesn't go too far over the top because we want to make sure it's still going to fit in our envelope. And then for these, let's just make some little drops of glue. Come on. So there we go. There is our card. So pretty simple, right? Like I said, I picked an easy, fun fold today because my point for today's video was more about showing you what all the little pieces for the dies are, because some people were a little bit confused. So hopefully now that gives you some better ideas, and now you will go order the Trusty Tools bundle and get that Trusty Toolbox Designer Series paper as a freebie. Gotta like freebies, right? Okay, let me share my screen for our wheel. Those of you who are with me normally know that you enter hashtag prize patrol, and that's how you get entered into the drawing, because I'm going to spin a wheel and pick somebody's name, and they're going to get today's card sent to them in the mail. So just like it shows there on the screen, the number sign or hashtag, and then prize patrol all run together as one word because the computer's catching it. That's kind of picky. And then, of course, please like, comment, share, all of those things. In addition, go in and comment after the video has posted, and I've removed the 30-second countdown because it takes out all the comments when I do that. So if you're ever on replay, put in hashtag replay and just leave a comment so that it helps boost it up in the algorithms and gets it seen, which I am very, very thankful for. You know, we have several stamp sets. Christy's saying that it doesn't have the right, like a birthday sentiment and things, but there are lots and lots and lots of other stamp sets that are just words. And so you kind of just want to look for something that has some basic printing. I know I was combining this with Leveled Up. Leveled Up had a straight happy birthday in it. There's a couple others, and there's several stamp sets we have that are just words. And so as you build up a collection, there's probably something else that will coordinate. Because Stampin' Up! Has certain artists that they work with, often the fonts will kind of be the same. So just keep an eye out, and I bet there's something that will work. Okay, let's give it a whirl. Oh, and make sure you're signed up on my newsletter. I know I don't plug that enough, but please go over to my website, queenbeecreations.net, and then there's a in the menu bars where you can sign up for the newsletter. There's also a popover, because every week in my newsletter on Fridays, I usually send out a newsletter, and it has the links to the replays on these videos, and it also has a tip of the week and all the latest and greatest on the sales that are happening, all that good stuff. And then when you're placing an order, please use the host code. There, Christy is our winner. Congratulations, Christy. When you use the host code, then it helps me out, and I send you a free PDF tutorial as a thank you for doing that. So when you're placing your order, please use the host code. So congratulations, Christy. You want to pop on over to queenbeecreations.net. That's my website. And while you're there, you will, up in the address bar, add /prize patrol, and that's going to pop you over to a Google form where you will give me the address on where you would like your prize mailed. So congratulations, and I will see you on Thursday for another card we make using the Trusty Tools bundle. See you then. Thanks. Bye.